and that, Mr Peters, is a business growth agenda.
Question number 4, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
More like it. Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Finance, does the government's economic strategy support the development of New Zealand-owned financial institutions?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes it does, and New Zealanders can support the development of New Zealand-owned financial institutions such as banks by switching from larger foreign overseas-owned banks to New Zealand-owned banks.
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Does he agree that if one outcome of the review of KiwiSaver default providers is that the number of default providers should be expanded, then Kiwi banks should have preference over foreign-owned banks?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, the member's a bit ahead of the review, of default providers, but Kiwi Bank has just recently bought a large KiwiSaver provider, and I would expect that they will be able to build on that success, but I certainly couldn't prejudge the outcome of a review which hasn't begun yet.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
In light of the Minister of Finance's recommendation as to switching to New Zealand-owned banks, will he provide leadership by switching the government accounts in that way?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I think as the member may know, there's currently the government is going through a process of looking at the 20-year plus banking arrangement it's had with Westpac Bank to see if it can get further improvement in service and value for money, and I wouldn't want to prejudge the outcome of that.
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Given his primary answer, will he therefore assure the public that Australian-owned Westpac's intensive lobbying campaign to become a KiwiSaver default provider will not be influenced by the fact that former National Minister Simon Power holds a senior role with Westpac and Mr English's
Order.
And Mr English's press secretary, Grant Fleming, is set to become Westpac's government relations manager?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I'm not aware of any such lobbying campaign. The government is, The government is committed to I think required by statute, a review of KiwiSaver default providers, and that by 2013, and that will be going ahead.
Question number 5, Mike Sabin.
Speaker. Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Associate Minister of Health, what recent announcements has he made regarding the regulation of